So I'm repping the Cubs today for two reasons. First, because my friend, Pastor Jason Salyers, who is the lead pastor at the Hinsdale Church, issued a call to his church for them to wear their favorite team gear today. And so I'm answering that challenge. So there you go. Shout out to Jason Salyers in Hinsdale. But second, because today is opening day for baseball, a day where millions of baseball fans are just super pumped because their team doesn't suck. Their team isn't in last place, right? There's hope for everything. And for many people, the fact that it's opening day marks the beginning of spring and the beginning of summer, the beginning of something new where there is hope and excitement. Opening day. But as you know, because of COVID-19 and self-isolation and all of this craziness that our world is facing, we don't have opening day. And for many people, that's actually really disappointing. And as I have been talking to junior high students and high school students, not just here in Kettering and Ohio, but all over the country, it seems like that is really a theme, something that many of us have in our hearts and our minds, and that is disappointment. We had this image for what we thought fourth quarter at school would bring. We had this image for what prom was going to look like. We had this image for what senior trip was going to look like. We had this idea of what graduations were going to look like and what those dates were going to look like and what fourth quarter at school was going to look like. And now all of that has changed. And for many people, they are just really disappointed. Maybe right now, you are really disappointed because of something that you had this idea that was supposed to happen, but now you're not even sure it's going to happen. So the other day in our devotional thoughts, we talked about this idea that while we're stuck, God still calls us to move. And that got me looking and thinking and studying. And so for the next several worship little devotional thoughts, we're going to look at the story in a book of Acts about a guy who was stuck, who was really disappointed, but God actually had something really big in mind for him. And so the story starts out with two guys, Peter and John. And in Acts chapter 3, verse 1, it says that Peter and John, these two dudes, are on their way to the temple. And I just want to take a moment to think about that. Peter and John. These two guys could not be any more opposite. Peter is kind of old, right? He's from a different generation, right? He's older in his understanding and he's a little bit more mature. John is young, newer generation, less mature. Peter is this huge extrovert, right? One who would speak and then think about what it is that he's saying later. John, a complete introvert, is more about introspection. Peter is like ride or die with Jesus, right? Jesus gets caught, he gets in trouble there in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he busts out his sword and chops off this dude's ear. John is a little bit more reflective and soft, and we see images of him conversing and talking with Jesus, and it's like he has his head on Jesus' shoulder. So we have these two people, totally opposite. One's old, one's young. John is on TikTok. Peter is just now transitioning from MySpace to Facebook. Peter and John, these two people whom the world and culture would say are complete contradictions, but the kingdom use in collaboration. These two guys collaborating for the kingdom are about to do something for someone who felt stuck and who was really disappointed. What would it look like for you right now, if you're older, to collaborate with someone younger? If you're younger, to collaborate with someone older? Someone who on the outside and according to the world standard and culture would be like, man, these people are totally opposite. They're totally different. They are actually a contradiction. But perhaps the kingdom can use this collaboration for someone to experience the new, something bigger and greater that God actually has for them. So, while what you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to think about who is someone that you could reach out with, and because of the kingdom, and because we have a shared goal for the kingdom, we can reach out, connect with someone different, and then together, for the sake and for the glory of the kingdom, actually love more. So maybe you're disappointed. Maybe there are things that just aren't working out the way you thought they would. But maybe this is an amazing opportunity to reach out, connect, to collaborate with someone totally different, and together can love and make a difference in someone else's life. Who is it that you can collaborate with today?